Hello everyone, I'm back with another art tutorial and today we'll be painting a beach view. First, we'll be drawing a small beach house. I'm adding the railings. And here comes the sand. Adding a window to the house. Here, drawing some palm trees. Beginning with the sky, I'm first using a dark shade of blue. Next, I'm using a rather bright, light shade of blue. For the clouds, just leave white spaces in between. No need to use white. I'm just playing around with random light and dark shades of blue, leaving white spaces here and there to resemble clouds. Moving on to the sand part, I'm using lemon yellow as the base. At some parts, I'm using brown. My sheet was already wet, so the brown spread on the sheet easily. For the far end of the sea, I'm using a dark shade of blue. And below that, I'm using a turquoise kind of shade. If you do not have this shade, you can mix a little bit of light green to some light blue. The dark blue paint at the far end was still wet, so I blended the edges using a semi-wet brush. I made another coat of dark blue paint and brought it down to the light blue using a semi-wet brush. I'm then using yellow ochre in a very small quantity and blending it on the sand using a semi-wet brush. I'm using this shade in very little amount using a size 0 brush. Next, I'm using some greens to make some grass. Make grass after your first layer is completely dry. For the surfboard here, I used some light blue first, then some orange. On the edges, I added red. For the palm tree trunks, I'm using grey as the base. If you do not have grey, you can use black mixed with a lot of water. After your grey layer becomes a little dry, I'm using black at the right edges of the trunk and then spreading it to the left side My brush size here is 0. Now for the coconuts, I'm first using some yellow. Then adding brown to the rest of the area. After these layers dry up, I'm adding dark brown to the edges. After your dark brown dries up, for the leaves, I'm first using a shade of light green. My brush size here is once again 0. After my light green has kinda dried up, I'm using a darker shade of green. And then a darker shade of green. I'm using my hands with very little pressure to create thin lines for the leaves. For the railings, I'm first using grey. I'm adding some blue to the windows there. Use it in very little amount and make sure you leave some white spaces in between. For the floor, I'm using yellow. Using some olive green to add details to the floor. For the window edges, I used yellow once again as the base, and for details, olive green. After the window has dried up, I'm using a dark pink shade for the house. Be slow and steady when doing small areas like these. For the roof, I'm using a wine kind of shade. If you do not have this shade, you can mix some red or purple into the pink you have. Using the same shade to add details to the house. Next, I'm adding some bushes behind the house. I used light green first, and then I'll move on to darker shades of green, as I did for the leaves of the palm trees. Finally, peel the masking tape off after your painting has become dry. Here you are with your beach view painting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, if you recreate this, you can send it to me on my Instagram handle, link for which is given in the description. Thank you for watching.